Week 5 is in the books. We are on the eve of week 6. Starting tomorrow night, we have USL League One action coming at you. Welcome to another episode of League One on the Rocks. My name is Rich. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Rich, but I'm not. And that on the other side of the screen is Brian. You can find him on Twitter at Mediocre Ace. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's going to be exciting to see Union Omaha. It feels like, I don't know, a month since I've seen them play in league action. So I don't know. Should be pretty nice. We'll see how it goes. They got a tough test this week against a very good team.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fun one to preview later on in this episode. Um, yeah, it's exciting to see Union Omaha getting back in action. I feel like what they're one of two teams to only have one match so far this season, Union Omaha and Chattanooga. We've only seen them once. How is it that we are in week 6 and we've only seen them once?
That's a lot of games in hand to make up, man. That's going to be something crazy coming down the pike.
Yeah. And we're going to hit on this a little bit later, but I can throw this fun stat in here for all of us to listen to really quick. Let me find that here in the Oh, it involves one of our listener questions. There are two clubs who do not have a league match for the entire month of May. Yeah, I know. See, that's the exact same reaction that I had. Lexington, if you go to the league website, they do not have a regular season match for the entire month of May. Same thing for Northern Colorado.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's just regular. Does that include the cup tie as well? The Jägermeister Cup?
So if you throw in Jägermeister Cup, you throw in bye weeks, you start to fill some of those weeks in the month of
Okay.
May, and it just falls into place
Hmm.
in such a way that those two clubs do not have a regular season match.
Well, I mean, that could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. It just kind of depends on where they're at that point in the season.
Yeah, it's crazy. I this the whole regular season schedule this year just seems so wonky.
Yeah, it's a little funky. I think it's since it's the first iteration of the season with Jägermeister Cup, I think it was always going to be kind of weird. But I mean, they'll get it figured out. This one will be wonky. Next season, I think, will be a little more nailed down. Or maybe we won't because it's lower division soccer and funny stuff happens.
Yeah. Well, if okay, so I'm just throwing it out there because even in the press releases for the Jägermeister Cup, they've mentioned that future iterations of it will feature more clubs than just League One. So I'm just throwing it out there that if there are championship clubs that are included in future iterations, they're probably gonna have to start earlier because championship starts earlier than League One, don't they?
I believe it's a week or two
Like,
before. Yeah.
yeah, a week or two earlier. So we may see some cup matches. There's those early rounds of the Jägermeister Cup in the very early weeks, even earlier than what we're seeing for this season. So that'll be interesting too.
Yeah. Definitely cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
They'll have to try to make it work, but I got faith in the front office of the league. So
Yep.
I think it'll be great.
Well, I'm rocking the Aston Villa hat today because they had a big win against Lille in the conference UEFA Conference Cup earlier today. So
Love it.
got to shout out Aston Villa.
Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and just nothing happened with these guys today. It didn't happen. I didn't watch it, so it didn't happen.
There you
So
go. That's the way it works.
yep.
What are you drinking tonight?
Um, I actually finished off the rest of the beer that I had after the Open Cup or for during before the Open Cup. So I am officially cleaned out of alcohol right now. So I just have my big old jug of water with me
There
tonight.
you go. Nice. All right. Like break into mine.
Oh
I am
boy.
going with Georgia Beer Company, Southern Isles Tropical IPA. This is another
Ooh,
one that I've never heard of, but I'm gonna
classy.
give it a try.
That's a classic can, my
And
friend.
let me see where they're from. Valdosta, Georgia. I'm new enough to the state that I don't. Oh, it looks like it's South Central. Let me get it. You see that little tiny white dot right there?
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, South
Way
Central
south.
Georgia,
Oh my
right along the
gosh.
Florida Georgia line. So yeah, this one is advertised saying this fresh and fruity tropical IPA is dry hopped with a sunny mix of Citra, Azaka, I don't know if that's the right pronunciation, and lemon drop hops. A blend of American two-row wheat and Munich malts give this beer a medium body that carries the fruity hop punch all the way to the shoreline. Takes the sunshine and freedom. Oh, taste the sunshine and freedom. So
Beautiful.
that's what I'm going with tonight.
All right. We've got some live chats already. Enrique saying cheers. Cheers to you as well.
Cheers,
Uh,
buddy.
Tim with Ranting Blue Penguin Media, also a Liverpool fan, saying literally nothing happened. 3 things happened for at Atlanta, though, unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah. And Allison checking in saying it appears I learned how to do a thing. You can check this later. Good to see you,
Right.
Allison. Thank you guys for coming in too. This was
Yeah, this is awesome.
this is a good one. Already checking in as well. I like it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to. So Tormenta has a bye week this week, so I
Ooh,
decided to make the most of the weekend and head up to Madison, Wisconsin for the Henny Derby, and I'm very excited. I get to see a bunch of friends. I'm not only soccer fans. I'm hoping to possibly even cross paths with some drum corps friends up there because I have a bunch of drum corps fans up in or friends up in Madison, Wisconsin. So hopefully I'll cross paths with them.
heck yeah.
Um, but it's going to be a really fun weekend. I'm pretty dang. I'm 100% sure there's going to be spotted cow involved.
There's got to be spotted cow involved when you're up in
Yeah,
Wisconsin, man. It just happens. It's a thing. I mean,
yeah,
the beer itself, it's one of those that it's kind of like a Yinglings, you know, it's good, really good for people like in Nebraska because you don't get either of them very often. The beer itself is good. I wouldn't put it like top tier, but because you don't have access to it all year long, that puts it automatically one step above where the beer actually sits if you were to put it in a tier list.
yeah. I've heard people say that spotted cow is overrated. Well, if you only have it two, three, four times a year,
Oh, that's if you're lucky,
you're
man.
gonna,
I think I
yeah,
get spotted cow once a year, maybe.
yeah, you're gonna enjoy it more.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, this weekend's gonna be a lot of fun. Henny Derby, can't go wrong with that. I
Um,
mean, come on, geez.
that is the best derby in League One by
Yeah,
far.
so this one is not going to be on Golazo Network, but the next one, I think it's the next one, but one of the
Yeah,
future matches between these two will be
hmm
on Golazo Network.
perfect. That's I'm really excited to see what they do the week leading up to it. I think they're going to miss a real opportunity if they don't highlight the supporter created derby that has turned into the best derby in lower division soccer. If they
Yeah,
don't highlight it and get on uh, our friends who got it going, I think they're doing it a disservice.
absolutely. Could not agree more. That is going to be a huge moment um, to really raise the, I don't know, impression, um, the influence of USL League One on soccer fans.
Hmm.
And if you can show, because a lot of people, if they hear Henny Derby, that doesn't mean anything to them. But if you show the context and you bring in the people that are involved, who are there from the very beginning, can tell the entire history of the trophy, the relationship between the two clubs. I mean, there are just so many storylines you could explore, and that broadcast could be an incredible one to watch.
Hmm. I agree.
Yeah. But speaking of Golazo Network, your Union Omaha is going to be on Golazo Network this weekend.
They are. They were going to be on tomorrow at, I believe it's 5:30 my time. So
5:30 your time.
yeah, I have. Luckily, I do have Roku TVs at my house, so I do get Galazo Network for free through Roku. Shout out Roku, thank you. Um, but yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good to watch. I'm excited to see Union Omaha play. It's just in general, to be honest with you, again.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's going to be a good weekend soccer. There's a ton of matchups this weekend that I'm really looking forward to. And as I put in the title of this live stream slash podcast, I don't think we actually learned anything from last week. It just,
Yeah.
things are so random and crazy right now that I don't know that we can really suss out what we can actually think, but we're going to do our best to do that tonight. So
Yep. Did you go to the Union Omaha season ticket member event last night? Was it last night? Last night.
it was last night, and unfortunately, I forgot it was happening. So I scheduled my new engine for my Subaru to come in yesterday. So I had to clean out a spot in the garage and move that engine into the garage so that I can work on it. Ironically enough, after Union Omaha's first home league match next Saturday. So
So if people don't know this about you, this is pretty incredible. You really know your way around cars. You're an electrician by day, but you are like a superstar when it comes to vehicle repair and maintenance and all that kind of stuff.
uh, I mean, I'm serviceable at it. Honestly, a lot of it is just kind of you just if you're mechanically inclined and uh, they have these books that are Haynes manuals. I don't know if anybody's seen them or knows what I'm talking about, but it literally like a encyclopedia. You get the year, make, and model of the vehicle you've got, and you could read this thing from front to back, and you would be able to take apart an entire car and put it back together as long as you're somewhat mechanically inclined. So I won't take all the credit for that. I started doing that. My dad does that. Um, and so I would work on all of our cars with him. So yeah, I mean it's something I enjoyed when I was younger. Now we'll see how much I enjoy it now that I'm in my 30s. I think a week of putting a car back together might be a little hard on my body, especially after two Union Omaha match days next week. So
Yep. Did you have to go through that rite of passage where you had to hold the flashlight for your dad?
oh yeah, of course. You get anointed that way. That's the only way you can work on vehicles is you have to have somebody yell at you for holding the flashlight in the wrong location. So
Oh, I love that.
yeah, Chilton's manuals too. Yep, Tim, that's another good one as well. Chilton's manuals, Haynes manuals, they're essentially the same thing, just different person puts them out. I personally like Haynes a little bit more because they have a few more pictures than Chilton's manuals do. But although this is the digital age, honestly, I'll probably pull up a YouTube video of how to do it and just go from there because inevitably I will forget something. So
That's awesome. Do you make your kids hold the flashlight now, or do you have enough uh,
um
lights in your situation that you don't have to worry about any of that?
um I have a little bit of light in there, but also I don't necessarily want my children learning the amount of curse words that I use when I'm working on vehicles. So I'm gonna hold it off until they can they can realize that what Dad is saying is something not to repeat.
That's too good. Oh man, I love that. But did the engine actually arrive?
It did, yeah. It's sitting in the garage,
Nice.
so
That's
I
cool.
gotta get next week. I'll get everything put on it that I can before it goes in, and then drop it in next weekend. So hopefully by 2 weeks from now, I will have a return to functioning Subaru. Right
There
now,
you
I have
go.
a Subaru with a big hole in the center where an engine should be. So,
That's cool. All right, well, we can bring this back to League One centric matters. We had a bunch of news come out this week surrounding League One. First thing that I think this was even announced earlier today. Texoma FC announced several new additions to its ownership group.
Hmm.
They are still aiming for their first professional season starting in 2025. But with today's announcement, there are more people that are joining their ownership group. There is Deanna. Oh man, I cannot roll my R's tonight. Uh, Guerrero. She's the founder and managing partner of Athlon Family Office, which advocates for financial empowerment and financial literacy for athletes.
Nice.
Then you have the famous Gronkowski family. We have Gordy Jr., who was a professional baseball player. We have Dan, who was in the NFL, played as a tight end. Chris was also in the NFL, played as a fullback, and Glenn also in the NFL. So you have the Gronkowski family jumping in. That's a big name
Oh yeah.
coming in with some entrepreneurship there.
Hmm.
And we also have MLB All-Star Matt Barnes. He's a current MLB pitcher for the Washington Nationals, but also spent time with the Red Sox and the Miami Marlins. When he was with the Red Sox, he was an All-Star and a World Series winner.
Then that's why for me that is my favorite ownership group pickup. Anybody who doesn't know, I am a Red Sox fan, so uh, yeah, definitely one that caught my eye more than the Gronkowski family for me because I don't watch the NFL. So
Yeah, I don't watch it nearly as much as I used to. Um, I don't watch a whole lot of pro sports. If it's on, I'll sit there and turn it on and watch it, but it's not something that I plan my entire day around with like I
yeah,
do with League One.
yeah. Well, understandably so with the position you're in now.
Well, yeah, but yeah. And then another set of news, Spokane Velocity announced that they are going to be hosting an international friendly match with Chivas under 23 team. That's going to be Sunday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you don't know Chivas, they are one of, if not the most popular and successful Mexican soccer clubs. They're the reigning champion of the under 23 Liga MX Apertura under 23, one of the premier development clubs for under 23 players. And Velocity head coach Lee Wiedman even had some, high praise for him. Playing against a strong opponent tends to be bring the best out in players, so it'll be a fun yet valuable experience for the team. With us having a large break between matches, it's important. It's really important for us to stay in good rhythm of playing so we can continue to improve. Aside from that, it's always enjoyable to test yourself against high level opposition with a different style of play than what we're used to. And fans, if you want to attend that match, you can have it included in your 5 match flex pack. And so you can have this match along with 4 other matches of your choice. Just head over to the Spokane Velocity Club website for more information.
Now that is a friendly match that is definitely worth the price, at least of a season ticket. I mean,
Absolutely.
and that 5 match flex pack, that's a great deal as well. So, huge pickup for Spokane on this one, and I completely agree um, with Coach Wiedman on that. I mean, especially obviously one of the best Mexican soccer clubs. I mean, that's obviously going to be nothing but good vibes. So I'm here for it. Hopefully it's
Yeah.
televised. I'd love to watch it.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. Ford Madison has done a really good job of bringing in international clubs for friendlies, and it's good to see other League One clubs doing this. I would love to see that across the board. Hopefully, more clubs jump on that kind of an opportunity because even hosting one of these clubs would bring in a generous audience. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Spokane, they're going to fill the stadium as it is. Ford Madison, they're going to fill the stadium as it is. But if you are, I mean, let's say you're Charlotte, let's say you're Chattanooga. I mean, name any club out there. If you host one of these type of clubs, yeah, you're going to get a big attendance for that night. That's a moneymaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looking at you, Union Omaha. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Tim looks like also shares that opinion. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that's awesome and something we want to see more of, as you said. So,
Yep. And then, as we already stated, the other bit of news pertaining to Week 6, Friday's match between One Knox and Union Omaha is going to air on the Golazo Network, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:30 Central if you're Brian. So we got some big news coming out of League One there. As far as a Week 5 recap, I mean, there were a lot of goals scored this week, and we only
lots of
had three
goals.
matches.
Yeah. Let's see, 5, 9, 12 goals in 3 matches.
Yeah.
Damn. That's what we
Yeah.
love to see.
Yeah. Speaking of a lot of goals, that first broadcast for USL Championship on
Oh,
CBS network television, 5-3
what a
finish. That's
match.
crazy. Yeah.
What a match.
Just back and forth. And those weren't just like trash goals either. They were good quality goals too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
if CBS was hoping for an exciting match, by golly, they got one. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was a hell of a match to have on CBS. So congrats to CBS, to USL Championship,
Yeah. Beating
to
MLS numbers as well.
yeah,
That can't be that can't be stated enough. I mean, if the second division is outdrawing the first division on TV, maybe it's time to take a step back and look at divisions and whether or not this country can support two Division One uh, leagues.
yeah. I think it's a good point.
There's a handful of teams between Championship and League One that I know attendance wise would be able to hold up. So,
Yeah. Tim at Ranting Blue Penguin Media coming in saying Chattanooga got to get their stadium stuff together before any international team would consider visiting them. Yeah, that's a good point. But with these delays that they are enacting on other clubs in the league, they are progressing in that development. So they are getting closer to a point where they can host those international clubs. Hopefully, it's sooner than later, though. And sooner than later for no delays for League One regular season matches as well.
mm-hmm. Oh, and Enrique's looking forward to Omaha versus Spokane on CBS. I'm going to be super interested to see the viewership numbers on that one.
Yeah.
Obviously, with the time that it's at, hopefully both these teams are either in a playoff spot or fighting for position in the playoffs or fighting for a spot in the playoffs. I mean, that's going to draw a lot more eyes as well. So definitely something really cool, and I can't wait for all the USL matches on CBS, but especially the League One ones for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. And the way that Spokane is playing right now, especially with that exciting support from Luis Heel,
Mm-hmm.
they're they're giving the fans a treat every single time they go into one stadium.
Definitely.
So that's cool. Well, let's dive right into the Week 5 recap. We had no teams with a doubleheader. I don't know when we have our first doubleheader, but it's got to be coming here pretty soon, especially with the I don't know lower amount of matches that we've had so far this season.
Mm-hmm.
And 6 clubs had bye weeks. We had Chattanooga, Charlotte, One Knox, Ford Madison, Union Omaha, and Spokane. First match of the night on Saturday was Richmond hosting Central Valley Fuego.
Oof.
Pups at the pitch.
Always love pups at the pitch, man.
Yeah. Looked like it was a 3-2 victory for Richmond there in City Stadium, getting the first victory and first home victory
Yeah.
of the season.
Yeah, and I mean it started pretty early. Richmond got the first goal in the 18th minute. Chandler O'Dwyer, his first goal of the season, assisted by Simon Fitch, his first assist of the season. So a couple of firsts there, getting on the board in Richmond, and that crowd. I mean, I see the attendance at only 3551. You could have fooled me with the
Yeah.
noise coming out of there, and Richmond. Oh, how long has it been? since July of last year before since they've won a match. So they've been waiting a while. So that first goal going in at home, I'm sure had to feel good.
Yeah.
But Central Valley Fuego doing what Central Valley Fuego does, gets their goal back in the 32nd minute. Um, Robert Coronado, all on his own. I believe that was the back pass that was mishandled and taken off.
Yes, that's what it was. Pablo Hara with the errant pass. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised. You know what? I haven't checked the Twitter page of playing out of the bat gone wrong, but I'm sure that one's got to be on there. Um, insane. Uh, just a lapse in judgment, and Central Valley looked like they were going to come out on top after that one. Um, they just seemed. I mean, this match seemed very sloppy from both teams, quite a bit. I mean, a lot of these passes were not hitting their marks and were not being handled very well. So going into halftime, only tied 1-1, I think was a blessing for both of these teams. I think there was a lot of points in this match where this could have been a lot higher scoring as well.
And you're saying that with 5 total goals on the night here as well.
Oh, this could have been a 10-goal night.
Oh, man. Well, in the
But
second half,
yeah,
we got it started off in the 58th minute with a Zahir Vasquez goal. This one was sneaky good.
mm-hmm,
So much so that it was his first goal of the season, but fans agreed because they voted it goal of the week.
it was nice.
Yeah. You gotta love those crosses into the box. That was like a glancing header to get into the back of the net too.
Mm-hmm.
That was a sneaky good goal.
Yeah, Omar Lemus sent that one in perfectly.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be set anywhere else. Yeah, and then the next goal in the 61st minute, Richmond ties it back up. Adrian Bilhart, that's his second goal of the season, and Neil Vigneault for his first assist of the season for Richmond. I cannot believe we are 5 weeks in, and this is his first assist.
I
I
was thinking
mean,
the same thing.
I think that's probably part of their struggles at this point. If Neil Vigneault isn't going, that team is going to struggle. So, um, I mean, oh boy, I'm trying to think. Was the Bill Hart one the one that came off of a shot, or was that O'Dwyer's next
Yes.
goal?
Ooh, that's a good point. Ooh.
Oh,
I can
I
pull it
don't
up.
remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
I want to say Adrian's was a header, and I think O'Dwyer got his second one off of that rebounded. In any case, the next goal at the 73rd minute was Chandler O'Dwyer with his unassisted goal, his first unassisted goal of the season. So yeah, I think O'Dwyer got the left-footed rebound shot in. So Richmond ends up taking the victory for the first time since July of last season. Uh, Ridiculous. I mean, for a team with this much history, it is insane that they went that long without a victory. Um, Granted, the season was off for 3 of those months, but still. Yeah, I mean, what haven't we said about this match? It just both teams. These are my two bottom of the table teams, and at parts of this match, it looked like these were the two bottom of the table teams, but at parts of this match, they look like solid playoff teams too. So
Yeah.
this is exactly what I meant by did we learn anything or not this week? I don't know. I see both of these teams being bottom dwellers, or both of these teams fighting for third or fourth place in the standings. It's just crazy.
I still am holding out hope that Fuego continues to climb up in the standings because, man, they are keeping it close in every single match they play. And this could very well be another season where they're fighting week in, week out, and they're just not getting the results like last season.
Mhm.
But for Richmond to win the way they did at home. So I'm looking at the Adrian Billhart goal here, especially with the way that the how tenacious they were and how hard they pressed in the second half. They were working hard for that second half to make sure that they were taking home 3 points. This was a crowd that had a lot of momentum, pouring out onto the field. A lot of excitement happening. Excuse me.
Mm.
You have a theme night, so you have extra energy in the park,
Yeah.
and they pull off a second half win. This is a Richmond team who, while you may have them bottom dwellers in League One, I don't remember where I had them heading into the season, but I think I had them higher than you. I didn't have them in the playoffs, but
Hmm.
I did have them just outside it. Not winning the wooden spoon though.
Right. Yep. I think I remember that as well. Yeah.
I still think that Richmond is a good team. This is a young team. They still gotta work it out. They still gotta get um Terzaghi back in there. But with the players they have, especially, I mean, if you just the two names that we said earlier tonight, where they combined on a goal together, Adrian Billhart and Neil Vigneault,
Hmm.
those are two huge names for Richmond. If you walk around City Stadium, if the name on the back isn't Terzaghi, it's going to be one of those two names.
Yeah.
And so the fans love these guys. They're going to be rooting for these guys. The fact that those two combined for a goal in this match, that says a lot too. I My personal opinion, I think those two are going to combine for the most goals for Richmond this season. And
Mm.
that may seem obvious, but we don't. I mean, we don't know where Terzagi's at right now. We don't know how soon he's going to come back. But
Right.
even when he does, I still think these two are going to combine more than Terzaghi will.
I like it, and I can't even call that a hot take because I could definitely see that being the case.
Yeah,
Uh, and so we have Rancy Blue Penguin Tim saying at some point the law of averages got to start falling in Fuego's favor.
you would
Fuego
think.
is very, very injured right now. I will say that as well. This team is probably only 60% strength right now with all the guys they have out. So, um, this there's still definitely a team to watch for, but I still just have to wonder with the style that they play, that super, I'm going to call it a super press, that super press that they play, that's going to take a lot out of guys. So we're really going to have to watch them as the season goes on to see if they can hold up for the entire length of the season, because it is, even though it's a shortened season, you still have the Jägermeister Cup to worry about. Um, the nice thing for Fuego, I guess, quote unquote, nice thing for Fuego, they don't have the Open Cup to worry about. So that's
Yeah,
at least one fewer match that they're going to have to worry about. So, um, yeah, there's something about this Fuego team. I think when they get all of their team guys back, I don't think they're going to be significantly better position wise at the end of the season, but I think this team will be better set up to make moves in the off season and to potentially climb the table next season.
yeah. I think that's a good take. I think Fuego, man, I agree with Tim. I mean, at some point, things are just going to finally start turning around for them, and I'm so surprised that it's we're seeing this week in and week out for them, extending. If we look all the way back to last season, this is something. This is like a routine exercise that we're seeing from Fuego. They give themselves hope, and then it just slips out of their hands,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's their fault or the other team actually having, a quality performance like we just saw from Richmond against them. But it's just, man, it's you have to be. This is gonna sound horrible to say, but you have to be a hardcore fan if you're a Fuego fan, because I mean, it's like you're going to one of those Italian operas week in and week out where it's just like doom and gloom every single time.
Mm-hmm.
Like how much death can you watch week in week out and still have optimism looking ahead to the coming weeks? But like you said, I think there is plenty of optimism for Fuego. There's injuries, there's people healing once they get back. They're the with each match, they're going to be gelling more and more. I don't know. It's just a matter of how soon it can all come to fruition.
I mean, listen, man, I'm a Nebraska football fan and a Boston Red Sox fan. Fuego fans can hold out a while longer. I think they'll, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Um, and that's coming from somebody who knows when teams are super bad and how hard it is. But
Yeah. On to the next match. We had Greenville hosting Northern Colorado. This was Star Wars night. Big, big night. Greenville gets the home win, 3-1 too. 3-1 as well.
yeah, um, this one last week we both called a Greenville win on this, and I mean this Greenville team looks really good, man. I did not have them very high in my rankings this year, but man, they look sharp. Um, it took them a little while to get on top of Northern Colorado in this one, but in the 44th minute, Liam McKinnon converts the penalty kick for his first goal and his second goal for the season. Um, yeah, I mean it's a penalty in the box. I don't think I've seen no discourse calling for that not being a penalty. I think everybody saw it the way the ref saw it and saw it as a good call.
I agree. Yeah, that's a penalty. Doubled up the lead in the 53rd minute when Leo Castro got his second goal of the season
Mm-hmm.
after an assist from Chapa Herrera. That was his first assist of the season.
Yeah, so the first two Greenville goals coming from kind of key pieces uh, to their not even just their offense, their entire team scheme. So,
Yeah.
um, and not long after that, in the 56th minute, Liam McKinnon again, third goal of the season. Zion Scarlett getting his first assist of the season. That's a name we need to be watching out for. I have a feeling it's going to show up time in and time out for this team.
Completely agree. Yeah. Get familiar with that name.
Yeah, we're going to be saying it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And credit to Northern Colorado, though, no quit in them in the 64th minute, so not long after Greenville's third goal. Lucky Opara gets his first goal of the season. Jake Keegan gets his first assist of the season. They immediately ran to the ball. They thought they had the chance to do it. And honestly, watching that match, I thought they might have a chance too. 64th minute, that leaves a lot of time on the clock plus stoppage. Yeah. I mean, but in the end, Greenville holds on and doubles down on that defensive prowess that they've had the entire time they've been a team and get the victory 3-1 on Star Wars night. And there was no Last Jedi promotion for this one, so I was a happy man.
And with this result, it answers a question that I was going to ask you last week, but we didn't have enough time there at the end of the episode. Because I was going to ask you, there were only two clubs who had not scored a goal yet this season, and it was Northern Colorado and it was Chattanooga. And I was going to ask you who was going to score first. Well, here we have that answer. Northern Colorado scored on this night, so Chattanooga is the last club in League One to not score a goal this season.
Oof.
Granted, they've only played one match, but still.
Sure. I probably would have said Northern Colorado would have been the first one to score anyway, but and that's not me tooting my own horn or anything, but that's definitely what I would have said first. Not that I'm saying Chattanooga is going to be a bad team, because if you listen to our preseason pod, you would know that I actually think very highly of Chattanooga this season. But
I agree.
This is a tough one for Northern Colorado. There was points in this match where they showed quite a bit of promise, but more often than not, they looked a little bit disjointed. Like they couldn't quite figure out how to unlock this Greenville defense, and they were super susceptible to the counterattack. This is a part of Greenville's game that I was not expecting this season. Uh, that kind of really fast counterattacking style kind of came out of nowhere, caught me off guard watching this match. Um, but that's definitely something to look out for them.
Yeah, I agree.
But
And speaking of Greenville, did you hear the news earlier today? I think it was announced today that Charlotte signed Noah Pilato.
I did actually see that.
How about that signing?
I mean, I, I'm still trying to process how this signing happened. I
Yeah,
feel like it had to have been just cash, like a big old, like in cartoons when they like rob a bank and it's just that giant sack of money with the dollar sign on it. I
yep.
have to feel like somebody just texted them a picture of that and said this good enough, and then Greenville's just like, yeah, we'll take it. Had to have been something.
And if you look at the veterans that are already on Charlotte's roster, throwing in Noah Pilato, oh man, that just raised the bar for that club.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to get that much better just by having one guy come in and help with their midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good signing. Good job, Charlotte.
Definitely. A journeyman midfielder will always help out the majority of teams in this league.
And then to finish off week 5, we had the matchup between Tormenta FC hosting Lexington SC. Tormenta came away with a 3-0, 3-0 victory. I always want to say 3-0, but I feel like 3-0 is, you know, much more apt to the soccer community, you know.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit more elegant coming out. Yeah, it's 3
It
nil
does.
or 3
3-0.
0. 0
Yeah.
is just very abrupt, and nil,
Yeah.
it flows right off the tongue. I think I like nil better.
Yeah. I like Nil Builder as well.
And again, I don't want to toot my own horn, but last week I did call a Tormenta win versus Lexington. So
You did. Yeah. You did. And we had an attendance of 1,024 inside a Tormenta stadium.
solid.
Guys started real early in the 8th minute with a 1-0. I'm sorry. What did I say that was weird. But anyways, Gabriel Rodriguez gets his second goal of the season off a Jackson Corey assist. Now, if you watch closely, Ajmir Spengler gets the hockey assist here because he had an incredible pass to Jackson. Jackson had the incredible pass along the goal line to Gabby, and then Gabby just had the little dink into the goal. I mean, it was a great play,
I
and
mean,
it was
the rocket that came off of Jackson Corey, Rodriguez, all he had to do was redirect it and barely with his foot. I mean, that there was so much power coming off that assist. All you had to do is get a tiny touch on it, and it was rocketing into the back of the net. So
But I will also say this credit to Gabby Rodriguez because if you watch closely, he could have easily just tapped it across the line, like send it on the ground into the net. But if he had done so, the goalie was there. He was there to block the shot. So he had to send it high.
mm-hmm.
So to take on a pass that quickly from Jackson Corey and then to send it into the roof of the net the way that he did, split second decision to get it up into the net the way he did, great decision making, great play from Ajmir, from Jackson, from Gabby, like across the
Mm-hmm.
board. Great play from all the guys.
Yeah. And Luke Martin checking in saying Corey and Spangler's passes were tremendous.
Yeah,
I would agree with that, Luke. I think you
yeah,
hit the nail right on the head. Those guys had one hell of a night.
yeah, yeah. And then Tormenta doubled up the lead in the 26th minute when Pedro Fonseca not only drew the penalty but converted it.
All right.
And if if you watch the broadcast, Pedro ran over to one of the ball kids to get a ball from him, put it underneath his jersey, and did the because he was celebrating the his wife is pregnant, so
Awesome.
they have a baby on the way. So he was doing a tribute to
Oh,
um,
cool.
yeah, to his family. So that was a cool moment for Pedro.
Yeah, I was curious about that one, but now that makes total sense.
Yeah. Even in the moment, our social media coordinator Noah was like, "Did you see it? Did you see it?" So like we had to rewind on the broadcast in the press box to see his celebration because we had stuff going on in the press box at the moment.
Oh,
But
sure.
to rewind it back and see his celebration in the broadcast, yeah, that was a cool moment. I'm glad he did that.
Yeah, and I mean, Fonseca converting the penalty kick and drawing it, that's perfect. We've been saying that for, I think, since we started. We wanted to see if you draw the penalty, you take the penalty.
Yeah,
I would love to see that actually be implemented into the league like bylaws. If you want to stand out and be a little bit different, Jägermeister Cup, place to try something out. You draw the
just
penalty, you
saying,
take it.
just saying.
Darren, I know you're listening, and I know you like pitching ideas. You can take that one.
In the 81st minute, Tormenta finished off the night with a goal from Sebastian Vivas, his first of the season, and he had an assist from Jake Dengler, which was his first assist of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Seba has scored in the Open Cup, but as
Yep.
far as league matches, this is his first league goal.
A lot of first league goals 5 weeks in. Crazy.
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, as we go through this, there's a lot of firsts in here.
Mm-hmm. First assists,
Yeah,
first goals, insane.
yeah,
Um, Man, I mean, honestly, in this one, top to bottom, Tormenta looks like a completely different team than the first few weeks of the season.
hmm
I don't know if the new, quote unquote, new, if the jerseys that they've received now is somehow had that firepower in it, and they just didn't like playing in the all blacks. But I will say those are sharp uniforms, and their play is even sharper than the uniforms right now, which I would not have guessed coming into this part of the season. I know I picked them to win this one, but I attributed that more to Lexington struggling than Tormenta's um, own rise. But in this match, maybe I was a little bit wrong because Tormenta looked damn good in this one.
they did look damn good. And I don't know if you watched. Well, of course you watched it. I know you watched it. When you go back to that broadcast, one of the two central pieces to, I guess you could even say, oh man, I'm looking at this roster. Um, Key pieces to Lexington's offense: Azad Liata, Cameron Lancaster, Yankum, Jaden Onan. These are guys that are key figures to their offense, and they were all being limited heavily, both with their offensive production and their defensive performance.
Mm-hmm.
The and I would give credit to Coach Ian Cameron for the way that he designed his game plan going into this match, because you knew that you're going to have your hands full with a Lexington club coming in, but the way that he had that game plan, he he did it right.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of it. And you really have to wonder, too. I mean, I don't think any of these would have been stopped had them all night bidding goal, but that had to have played at least a little bit into their minds. Maybe some of the defenders' minds, because if you don't have the guy that's regularly in goal for you back there, maybe you're not as comfortable as a defender knowing he's there to bail you out, especially when it's a all night. It's one of the better keepers in the league, obviously. So, um, yeah, that also I think might be playing on their mind, but not taking anything away from Tormenta's performance, but Lexington, like, I know I said at the beginning of the season that these big signings don't always create winning teams, but there something in this team is just not clicking. Something is not right. Um, man, I don't know what it is, and I don't think anybody else knows what it is either. It is crazy to me that they are struggling as bad as they are right now with the caliber of player that they have.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. One thing I want you to take note of when Lexington comes to Omaha, um,
When does Lexington come to Omaha?
yeah, that's a good question. Make sure you pay attention to Balogun. That dude is a mountain. When you
Oh,
see him on the
yeah.
field, when he's warming up, when he's out there on the pitch, whatever, like that dude is a mountain, like pure muscle. I even was out. I finished all the stuff. I rushed down to the field to help with some of the closing procedures, and I can tell you, just walking by him, it was sort of like one of those like, holy crap! I'm glad I didn't have to defend him.
Well, I will tell you this: Union Omaha does not play Lexington at home until October 12th.
Oh my gosh, that's end of the season.
That is the second to last. Well, I guess I'm looking at homes, but yeah, that is October 26th is Omaha's last home match. So second
Jeez,
to last home match for Omaha before we get to see Lexington in person.
that's crazy.
I mean, unless I go down there, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, yeah, I can understand that. All right, so with the week 5 matches out of the way, we have also just received the month of March awards. So the player of the month from March was One Knox's Angelo Kelly Rosales. He received 44.8% of the weighted poll. Totally deserved.
Yep.
The way that he's been playing in like over there at One Knox, absolutely crazy, controlling the middle of the field. Just crazy what he's been able to do. It's the first time that um, Angelo Kelly has been named the player of the month, and
Mm-hmm.
this is also the first time that a player from One Knox has received this award. So if you look at some of the stats that he's held from the month of March, you'll understand why he received this award. In 249 minutes, he led the league with 2 goals and 2 assists. He also led all players with 11 chances created and 4 goal contributions. On top of that, he had 22 duels won. He had 13 recoveries, 87% passing accuracy as a
Huge one.
midfielder.
Huge one.
Yeah. And here's a big one, too. In each of One Knox's 3 match winning goals in March, he either scored it or assisted it.
Ooh.
That's huge. And here's a little bit of random trivia. This was posted in the article that was on the league website. I didn't know that he previously played under head coach Mark McKeever,
Oh, I
but
didn't know that either.
yeah, back in 2017, while playing in the USL League Two, he played under Mark McKeever over at Mississippi Bria FC. I don't know if that's Bria, if like Spanish, like the double L, or if that's Brilla FC. But
I
yeah,
like Bria. Let's go with Bria.
yeah, let's go with Bria.
That works. That's, I mean, obviously well deserved. The, what can you really say? I mean,
Yeah,
they're this One Knox team is top of everybody's power rankings for the people that are doing power rankings. I know we're holding off on that until two teams decide that they can play more than one match. Um, it's just too difficult because where do you put them? I guess we could put them in a little like don't know category and then rank
yeah,
everybody else, but that's too much work. I don't want to. I don't want to do that.
yeah. No. Speaking of the fantasy rank or the power rankings,
Yeah.
as a Union Omaha fan,
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's right to see Union Omaha falling even though they aren't playing?
No, but
Yeah.
I'm if I put my fandom aside, I mean, sure. I mean, they don't play, so you don't really know. But then again, just put them either at the top or the bottom. Whatever. But the the fan in me is like, well, I mean, if you look at their match versus Central Valley, they played really well, and you had them at number one. Why are they dropping when they're not playing? It's that weird like bye week thing where it happens in college football all the time. You'll have like somebody sitting at 25th, and then they'll have a bye week, and then they'll be out of the rankings the next week, and it's how they didn't play.
Yeah.
But I, you know what? Rankings to me only matter in the legitimate table and at the end of the season. So, am I a little upset about it? Sure, but I also know that the league has to put out power rankings to get engagement, whereas
Yeah.
we are holding off because we don't need to do that yet because we don't feel
Yeah.
comfortable enough. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
When you have
well,
some clubs who have played 5 matches and you have others who have only played one, I mean, how are you going to compare that?
you've got two teams with 4 matches in hand on a ton of
Yeah.
teams. Like, oh, just insane.
I'm so glad you spun it that way because that makes, yeah, that even emphasizes the difference even more.
Oh yeah, think about that. Like they're gonna have to put them in at some point. But what happens? What happens if Omaha? I won't even say if. When Omaha makes a big Open Cup run again this season, where are you going to fit in 4 more matches?
Yep.
And now, like at this point too, with only 8 MLS teams being in, we know Union Omaha can beat MLS teams, so obviously they can beat championship teams if we go the whole roundabout way of thinking about these things. Like, you got to figure if they're going to make a run, they're going to go pretty decently far. So, I will not be the guy that talks about schedule congestion. It's just
Oh,
as far as the players are concerned. I'm not concerned about the player schedule congestion. I'm concerned about getting to Warner Park on a random Tuesday night as opposed to the weekends that I'm already aware of or the weekdays I'm already aware of. So
yeah. I can understand that. That makes sense.
it'll be fun either way.
Yeah.
And Luke, yes, power rankings are the most serious business in League One podcasting and content creation. So we should probably get on that, Rich. I think we might do that. Allison,
And
very
oh
true.
yeah,
Yes, it can be an issue with the players for sure. Not having enough time to recover. I think the league the league and the players association, I think, are going to have a pretty big say on whether or not teams get matches rescheduled and when they get rescheduled. What's going to hurt Union Omaha in that aspect would be if they do make a big run and then they've already had 2 weeks that are bye weeks. So there's 2 of your off weeks already out of the window and then a match that you have to make up. So I don't know. But that's for the smart people at the league office to figure out, not for me to figure out. But it'll be a struggle, that's for sure, and Chattanooga as well. So we'll see.
yeah. And I don't know if Enrique was talking about Union Omaha, but he says they can keep on struggling at least this weekend.
Oh, Enrique, I believe is a Spokane fan.
And Spokane, oh yeah, Spokane plays Lexington this weekend. So there you go. Yeah, they're talking about Lexington. Enrique coming in saying, how many forwards does Omaha have? I think I
Oh,
read your roster wrong.
nope, probably not. It's a lot. they they went very very forward heavy.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you read it wrong at all. I think there are that many forwards. Oh, Enrique said, "Yes, I am Miami," and then moved to Spokane. Don't ask why.
Whoa. Okay.
All right. Whoa. All right. Hey, as long as you're having fun up there, That's all that matters. You got a good team up there to watch now too. So
I promise we're not going to ask why, but just know the entire episode from here on out, every single time we see your name in the chat, we're going to be wondering why. But I promise you, we're not going to ask.
yeah, definitely.
All right. The second month of March award was for Coach of the Month, and that was also to One Knox's Mark McKeever. First time earning this award for McKeever while he's been in League One. He did get the Coach of the Year award in 2021 while he was coaching the Des Moines Menace, who you are very familiar with, Brian.
Oh yeah, yeah. We beat the retirement team in the Open Cup. Yeah.
And he's also the first coach to own this award for One Knox. And if you look at his contribution to One Knox's season so far this year, he has led them to their best start in club history: 3 matches, 3 wins, 2 clean sheets, and leads the league in goal differential. And just for a cherry on top, the team has only conceded 1 goal.
Yeah. I mean, obvious choice, right? Like,
Yeah,
who else are you going to pick for this award? I mean, maybe, maybe,
maybe
uh,
Greenville, Rick Wright.
maybe Rick Wright, but I mean, Greenville's also been there, done that. Knoxville has not in League One yet. And
True.
if you look at the turnaround from last season to this season for One Knox, I think it's well deserved.
Yeah. So the selection for McKeever as Coach of the Month was done by the USL League One Technical Committee. So this was not a weighted vote that we saw from the Player of the Month. This is, I would assume, by a committee of his peers.
Uh, yeah, I think that's how they do that. I think I vaguely remember seeing something about them saying that they're voted on by the coaches and technical staffs. Maybe
Gotcha.
I'm wrong. Maybe I'm making that up.
Yeah.
I'm going to pretend like it's 100% true and I'm just going to go with it.
The fact that you said it so confidently, I'm gonna believe every word that's coming out of your mouth.
Yeah, we'll just edit out that I second guess myself. It's fine.
There you go. Yeah.
And then we only have to worry about our viewers here on the live stream. They'll know, but yeah.
We'll have our own little USL League One Mandela effect.
There we go. I think we already have that one because like I feel like if somebody doesn't listen to us every week and then like stopped at the end of last season and then now come like here in this season, they see you with Tormenta gear on, they're gonna like, has Rich always been a Tormenta fan, or am I remembering this right? Yeah, it's perfect.
That's actually perfect. I love that.
That is my personal headcanon for the Mandela effect for our show.
All right. So as we head into week 6, we can start talking about those. But before we do that, we have some pretty in-depth previews coming up here pretty soon. Before we do that, we can start talking about the third round of the US Open Cup because those happen next week.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tuesday,
it's
Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday. We
All
have
right.
3 on no, we have 2 on Tuesday and we have 5 on Wednesday. Is that right?
Love it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we have 6 on Wednesday. We have 2 on Tuesday.
Even better. 8
Yeah,
matches.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
this they're starting off with a big one. Louisville City FC for USLC, one of the premier USLC teams,
Yeah,
facing Greenville. That's going to be a huge test for Greenville in that one. Yeah, that may affect the power rankings, even though it probably shouldn't in League
yeah.
One. But if Greenville comes out and pulls I'm not going to call it an upset because I think Greenville is one of those teams that can also make a run. But if Greenville beats them and you move them up in the power rankings a little bit, I'm going to be a little mad, but I'm going to understand.
Wasn't Anderson Holt out of the Louisville City Academy?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
I thought it was him. I could be wrong though.
If I would have went to the event last night, I could have asked him, but
Yeah, jeez, man. They covered it in depthly last night.
I'm sure they did. I'll text Chip and ask him. He went last night, so
And
uh
after the Louisville City FC hosting Greenville match, we have Charlotte hosting Rhode Island FC, which is also going to be a huge match
mm-hmm.
because Rhode Island, I mean, they've been surprisingly good in their first season in championship.
Yeah. And Charlotte is one of those teams that has a lot of experience. And I think experience against a inexperienced side, inexperienced in playing together and stuff like that is going to be one you definitely have to look out for. Sneaky good match. Unfortunately, they are at the same time, which I mean, you can watch them on US Soccer, uslsoccer.com/watch to find these. Do what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them up on in a 4 panel on my screen and just watch what we got.
It's a smart man right there. He's got all the advice for everybody tonight. So I am looking something up really quick because I want to make sure if this is correct or not. Okay, so Noah Pilato, having just signed with Charlotte, um, was on a free transfer after having not renewed his contract with Greenville.
Oh,
So he would be able to join with Charlotte in the Open Cup.
he'd be there.
Yeah,
He'd be good to go.
yeah. Which, man, if you think about those midfields going against each other, ooh, that's a fun one to
This can be a
watch.
good
Ooh,
one. I
man.
like it. And luckily, those two are on Tuesday night, so I do
Yeah,
get to watch them. We'll get to it
yeah.
later. But Allison coming in, and letting us know the press release says that he came from Queensboro FC2, which is a USL academy.
Mm-hmm. Queensboro 2. Okay.
And
Which
well, I don't remember which one Queensboro that would be.
Charlotte,
Oh,
isn't it?
Charlotte, I think. Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
Charlotte.
And then CJ coming in saying Rhode Island is good because, Brito. Of course, Joe Brito. Open Cup hero for Union
Yeah,
Omaha.
yeah. Love me some Joe Burrito.
Mm-hmm. Sad to see that man go, but
Yeah.
good for him going up to see. But then we start off the next night, Wednesday. Richmond is hosting Loudoun United FC of Championship.
Another good matchup. Oh, man, so many.
And these are the last two clubs in the Open Cup in Virginia. So a battle for Virginia is underway. This
Yeah.
one, if Richmond catches them, right now, if they continue the form that they were on against Fuego, that could be a cup. I will call that one a cup set. That could be a cup set. Maybe I shouldn't though because Richmond has won it. But
Are
I
you
think
here now calling it a cup set?
mm,
Are we doing predictions here now?
um uh I think Richmond could take it. Yeah. I'll call that one a
Good
cup set.
man. Good man. I like it. Well, another cup set to happen immediately after Richmond and Loudoun is Tormenta going to Miami FC uh, for a 7:30 kickoff Eastern time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that one. So right after the I don't know, the US Open Cup draw, the stream finished, I sent a message over to Dalton Knutson and his wife Camille.
Oh, nice, perfect.
I didn't like talk any shit, and it was just like, hey, excited to play, see you and all that kind of stuff. But
Sure.
the 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 urge was there, like, oh, I wanted to so badly.
Oh
They're
yes.
too nice though. Like, how can you talk shit to Dalton and Camille?
Yeah, I don't think it's possible, honestly.
Yeah. Like, even if I were on the field and I was competing against him, say like a corner kick and I'm trying to score on his goal and he's trying to block me from running to my position, I would be like, "Oh, excuse me, sir. I just need to get around you. I just want to get over here. Excuse me, sir."
Yeah.
Just trying to be that like Midwest polite, like, "Oh, sorry. Let me just get around you here."
Yep. Got to give the open there. You just have to. It's the oop. I'm just gonna. I'm gonna sneak right by you. I use that about 7 or 8 times a day. So, oh,
Oh
jeez.
man.
After that one, we've got Northern Colorado traveling to Tulsa, Oklahoma yet again, but this time facing FC Tulsa of USL Championship.
That's so funny. I wonder if the guys over at Lenners and Woozers are going to make this trip too. Like do
I
that exact same thing again.
I was gonna bring it up, but yeah, they said no. I think that 10-hour trip is. I think that's 10 hours one way too, isn't it?
Yeah, 10
So
hours one way.
that's a 20-hour trip. Man,
Yeah. And that's essentially a down and back because they stayed overnight, but I mean, you had to think they had to get up early to hit the road.
oh yeah, it's 10-hour drive. You got to get up early.
Oh,
You don't have a choice.
that is rough.
That's gonna be a good one as well. I like. You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I'm calling. We haven't gone through them all yet, but I'm calling every single League One team wins.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Cup sets all around.
Love it.
This next one. This next one is going to be tough as well. Uh, the Birmingham Legion take on the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Oh, at Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern time for that one as well. This one yeah. I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay, good.
Red Wolves get the win in this one. After that, Union Omaha is hosting El Paso Locomotive of USL Championship. This one is interesting on a few fronts. Union Omaha's first Open Cup match at Warner Park, their actual home park. Really cool to see that. I'm excited to get there on a Wednesday night for Open Cup. I hope they do something cool with it as far as stadium stuff, but who knows. And also with head coach for Union Omaha, Dominic Cassiato, being an assistant coach at El Paso Locomotive before coming over to Union Omaha, this is an added bonus for him. And a third, Union Omaha last season beat El Paso Locomotive in the U.S. Open Cup. So,
And a fourth.
we got 4.
Isn't Aaron Gomez a former player?
Aaron Gomez is a former player. That is number 4. I totally forgot
Yeah.
about that. And I read that earlier today in preparation. So, whoops. But yes, four very interesting storylines going on behind this one. And yeah, you get the Union Omaha fan perspective on that one. So sorry if you guys didn't want to hear all that. But another really good one, sneaky good one, and a sneaky good one in a way that I'm going to like, that I have a feeling Spokane is going to run Las Vegas out of their own stadium. Las Vegas Lights are hosting Spokane Velocity at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. So late kick for that
Open
one.
Cup after dark.
I love Open Cup after dark. I love the Open Cup anyway, but Open Cup after dark is even better. But yeah, I mean, this one I think is my slam dunk 100% going to happen. Spokane will beat the Las Vegas Lights.
Ooh, okay.
If I had to
Now we
lock
have confidence levels.
if I had to lock any of these in, Spokane beating Las Vegas is 100% locked. Union Omaha, I'm about 98%. So
And I'm 100% on Tormenta. That's a good matchup.
Tormenta is also up there in the 95-ish range for me.
Yeah.
Also, Northern Colorado, I think, takes Tulsa as well pretty easily. Everything else, toss up, but I'm still going with the League One teams in every single match.
Yeah.
Don't let me down, Greenville. Don't let me down.
Oh man, that's gonna be such a fun one. Tuesday matches are gonna be so much fun to watch.
Those are, yeah, those are some big boy battles going on. So we'll see how
I
it goes.
think so. We leave Tuesday morning for Miami, and I think we get in right around 5 or 6 in the evening. So I'll be able to watch those matches.
Oh, perfect.
And what's awesome is that everybody's gonna have that on their phone. I
Oh yeah.
guarantee it. We just had media day for all of our home and away, the new kits that we have here at the club. And the guys were watching Champions League on their phones in between pictures and videos and everything. But I can also tell you that they're definitely gonna be having the Open Cup on.
Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Because even though the players need to be focusing on their own match, the players love the Open Cup enough that they wanna know what's going on with the other results and everything.
Oh yeah, you got to know who your next opponent might be.
Hmm.
That's smart. It's not doing the wrong thing. It's scouting for your next potential opponent.
Yeah.
Go ahead and go ahead and run that one by Ian and let me know what he says.
All right, so now we can get into the week 6 preview. And there are some fun matchups here. And I found some cool stats in here. So these are going to be fun to review. Uh, Once again, we have another week without a club playing a doubleheader, or not even doubleheader, just playing twice in the week. We have 2 clubs with a bye week. We have Northern Colorado and Tormenta. And we start off week 6 matches tomorrow night. And we started off with One Knox hosting Union Omaha.
Mm-hmm. The Galazo Network. I like it. There's been 3 previous meetings between these 2 squads. Omaha has won twice. Knoxville has won no times, and they have drawn once. And Omaha has doubled up Knoxville on goals 6-3. In Knoxville, they've only met once, and Union Omaha won 2-1. So, I mean, that's a feather in the cap for Union Omaha, but this is a different Knoxville squad from last
It
season.
is. Yeah, good point. And if we were to talk about keys to success, I'll let you speak for Union Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm One Knox and I'm planning for Union Omaha, I would have to press upon the club to keep their defensive shape. And that does not just include the back line. That includes the midfield. That includes the forwards up top, hunting, applying pressure at the right levels whenever Union Omaha has possession. Um, with Union Omaha's speed of play that they have, which is actually I spoiled one of yours. Sorry. With the way that Union Omaha plays, they open up opportunities for One Knox to counter attack. And so I would I would think that One Knox would have to be training on how to counterattack quickly and which players to be involved and how to move the ball quickly and efficiently enough to utilize those counterattacks as damaging as possible against Union Omaha. The third key to success that I would have for One Knox is to win the middle lane and win the air. And when I talk about the middle lane, I'm not talking about how you and I have mentioned in the past the middle third, because that's at your as you're looking at the field from the stands, like at the midline. What I'm talking about is if you're standing behind the goal and you're looking across the field, and that middle lane right there, that is what I think is going to be a key of success for One Knox. They have to control that middle lane of the field, which also includes winning the aerial duels, whether
Yep.
it's in your box, whether it's off of Rashid Nuhu's long goal kicks. You have to be able to win the air and you have to control that lane.
Yeah. It's going to be a huge test for Union Omaha, especially with all the hype that Knoxville has been getting, and deservedly so. Obviously, you're going to have to take out the defending player of the month and just completely take him out of the equation. Angelo Kelly's a great player, and they're definitely going to need to take him out to do that. You already mentioned speed of play is going to be a huge one in this one. But I would look more to see Union Omaha play that possession based style where they're going to be very clinical with their passes and try to not necessarily pass you to death, but wait for those runs that are being made by these forwards. And to the point Enrique said earlier, Union Omaha has a lot of forwards to choose from at this point. So there's going to be a lot of guys moving forward. And if those guys get tired, they have more in the chamber. So I think we're going to see a lot more direct style passes in this match after passing it around the back a little bit. And you definitely can't be afraid to test Sean Lewis. Shots on target are going to be huge for Union Omaha with all of these forwards. You're going to have to get shots up, and you're going to have to watch some of them go in to get some of these guys rolling. I know Omaha last season had an issue with scoring goals early in the season. They need to rectify that by getting goals very quickly. So for me, there's an old NBA adage. Anybody who's an NBA fan knows it's accuracy through volume. So the more shots you put up, the more shots you're likely to make. So you can't know unless you try. And Sean Lewis is a great goalkeeper, one of the best in this league, but you're going to have to put shots on target to make Knoxville uncomfortable.
Yeah. And I actually found some random facts related to this matchup as well. Like we have already established, there have been 3 meetings between these two clubs. In 2 of those 3 meetings, Omaha scored in both halves. In 2 of the 3 matchups, a red card was issued. And in 2 of the 3 matchups, Omaha scored first. Now here's a kicker for you. In each matchup, a second half goal was scored in stoppage time,
Ooh,
which could
okay.
have a huge influence on the final scoreline. So, came up with a few prop bets for you.
I like it.
First one is yes or no. Omaha will score in both halves.
Yes.
Okay. And over under on red cards. And I have it set at 0.5.
Oh, I'm going to take the under in that one.
Okay.
Although we've seen quite a few red cards already, but yeah, I'm still going to take the under.
Okay. And who scores first?
Knoxville.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're predicting at least a 2-1 victory for Union Omaha based off of what you just said. So let's get into predictions.
Yeah. This one I see another 5-goal thriller. I think Knoxville scores one first, and Omaha scores 2 more on them. They let a goal in, and Omaha scores late to get the victory, 3-2.
Ooh, that should have been a prop bet too. Yes or no, there was going to be a goal in second half stoppage time.
Yes, sir. Stoppage time, second half. Omaha gets the W.
Ooh, dramatic fashion. All right. So you're saying Omaha
3-2.
3-2. Okay. I am gonna say I'll say Omaha 2-1.
2-1 Omaha. Both picking the Omaha train.
Yep.
It worked well for us last week, choosing Greenville over NoCo. Not so much Fuego over Richmond, but we'll see.
I'm not gonna lie, when I listened back to the episode before kickoff for the between Greenville and Northern Colorado, and I saw that we both picked Greenville. I kept thinking to myself, "Oh my god, are you serious? I picked Greenville? I thought I was gonna pick Northern Colorado." But then after the final score, I was like, "Yeah, of course, that's what I totally meant to do that."
Meant to. Yep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Greenville, they do have a matchup. They go to Charlotte on what, Friday night? Yeah, Friday night, tomorrow night.
Mhm.
7:30 kickoff. They're at American Legion Memorial Stadium in Charlotte. They've had 7 previous meetings with Charlotte winning 3, Greenville winning the other 4. So no draws between these two. And if we're looking at the goals scored, Charlotte has scored 9 goals across those 7 meetings, and Greenville has scored 12. If we look at their performances in Charlotte, there have been 4 previous meetings, Charlotte winning 3 of them, Greenville winning 1. The last win for Greenville in Charlotte was week 8 of last season, which was a 3-1 victory. In American Legion Memorial Stadium, Charlotte has scored 7 goals, Greenville has scored 6. So, even though Charlotte has more wins, it's still close on goals scored.
Mhm.
So, this could be a very close match.
Yeah. There's definitely some keys to Charlotte's success for this one. You don't let Liam McKinnon be himself. Uh, you have to strike early and set the tone, and essentially, you have it in here in parentheses, bully them. I completely agree, and I think that is going to be something Charlotte is going to do because they are good at it. I mean, they are a very very physical team, which has served them well in the past. And with the Charlotte team, they're going to want to draw these Greenville midfielders out and get underneath them, which is also something we've seen from Charlotte. Charlotte this season is Charlotte of last season. They're going to make runs down the sidelines and into the heart of your midfield and your defense, and they are going to out finesse you and out ball control you to beat you. And they have the guys to do it. So that is something you definitely need to watch out for. You know the formula, but at the same time, it's just like with Greenville, you probably know the formula. Stopping the formula, that's two totally different things.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And to finish off on that point, it actually plays into one of the keys to success that we have for Greenville because you have to be careful of Charlotte's counterattack. You mentioned it right there, the speed, the flank play, the ability to get around you. That is Charlotte's strength. So for Greenville, they have to be careful. They have to be aware and communicating across the field to make sure everyone's being picked up, aware of the situation, which leads into another key to success I have for Greenville. Get everybody involved. And that not only means on defense, where you're talking to everybody, getting yourself up, like setting everybody up for success, it also means on the offense. Because if you look at Greenville's offense so far this season, they have scored 9 goals, but 4 of those, I'm sorry, yeah, 4 of those goals had an assist along with it. So you have 5 goals that were unassisted, whether that's from guys just doing a simple tap in if you're in the box, or if you're shooting from a distance uh, to hit one of the uprights or to one of the upper 90s. You got to get everybody involved because that way you can spread Charlotte's attention into a very thin layer so that their core group is not together. You have to separate those guys, um, weaken the the ties that bind those players when they're out there on the pitch. If Greenville can get everybody involved the way that we have seen them do time and time again, they can really weaken Charlotte's ability to defend them. And one that I also have here is for Greenville to not get sucked into a brawl. Greenville can play their game. They should not have to play somebody else's game. And that's not me saying that Charlotte is going to make this a brawl, but if Greenville, so one of the things that we have seen lead to so much success from Greenville in the past is their composure and their ability to stick to their game plan, because the teams that do really, really well, no matter what sport you're looking at, is because they're playing themselves. Yes, there's an opponent on the field, but they're playing themselves because they are their own toughest opponent. And if you get sucked into the other team's mindset, their game plan, you're already weakening your own performance. So that is a huge one that I have for Greenville in this match.
Mhm.
Now, if we look at random facts for this matchup, Greenville has scored first in 4 of the 7 meetings. If you look at their performance in Charlotte, they have scored first in 2 of the 4 meetings. In all competitions this season, Charlotte has not conceded a first half goal. On the flip side, they have also not scored a first half goal. All of the action in every Charlotte match this season, in all competitions, has come in the second half. So that could be a huge factor in this matchup as well. So let's get into some prop bets. Who do you think score first?
Greenville.
Okay.
I like Greenville to score first in this one.
Okay.
It takes a little while generally for Charlotte's offense to really start to heat up. So um, I think if Greenville's going to score, it would be them first.
All right. And I'm going to do an over under on first half goals. 1.5.
I'm going to take the under. I'm going to go with
Oh,
one goal in the first half.
okay. So Greenville strikes early.
Greenville strikes early.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. I was going to come up with another prop bet as to whether or not there was going to be. Um, okay, cool. So we answered that one. All right. Let's get into predictions then.
Yeah, I think Greenville is rolling right now. I think Greenville scores first. Um, but I think Charlotte's offense and the fact that they're playing in Charlotte, that field is huge. They are set up for that field. I think Charlotte comes through and scores 2 goals in the second half and beats Greenville at home 2-1.
2-1. All right. I am. Man, that's a good guess. I'm going to say that Greenville stays hot, and I am going to go with a Greenville. Man, I kind of want to do it, but I think I'm gonna say Greenville 3-1.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Yeah,
Greenville's offense stays hot.
yeah. All right, so now we get into the first of Saturday's matches. This is the Henny Derby. This is it, man. This is where it's at. So 7 p.m. kickoff there at Bree Stevens Field there in Madison, Wisconsin. Um, these two have, man, they have met 14 times, and Madison has won 8 times. Richmond has won 5, and they've had 1 draw. And in those 14 matchups, Madison has scored a total of 13 goals, and Richmond has scored a total of 9 goals. So if you think about that across 14 matchups, that's that's a low scoring affair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the average there, man. So that's close. When they are in Madison, they've had 7 previous matchups. Madison winning 4, Richmond winning 2, and then drawing 1. Madison has had 6 goals. Richmond has had 3. So, I mean, if we're looking at this one, if you're Forward Madison, I would have to say have a body between Adrian Billhart and Nel Vignos at all times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good place to start.
um, let's see. What's another key to success that I could have for Ford Madison? Take advantage of the moment. You got a big crowd there in Breese Stevens Field. You're playing in a derby. Take advantage of the moment and ride that wave. Use
Mm-hmm.
that momentum to your advantage and uh, go for the which ties into another thought that came across my stream of thought there as I was saying it. Madison has to keep the crowd in it. They have to keep the crowd on their side as they're playing. They have this wave of support in their stadium. If they can strike early, get the crowd behind them, ride that wave for the entire match, that they should be able to find victory.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think if you're Richmond in this one, you really have to build off of what we saw in that victory versus Fuego. Um, the funny thing about this matchup too, both of the early season you would call predictions for the striker position for both of these teams are not going to be playing in this match. Terzaghi still is not ready to go fully, and Christian Cheney is still not ready to go. So this is going to be the time for these other, I won't call them not marquee players, quote unquote, but your first thought player for both of these teams are the two guys that are not probably going to be playing in it. So it's time for guys to step up. Richmond really needs to do more of what they did against Central Valley and be able to hit quickly and hit often and ride that pressure. So for me, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for Richmond in this one, but they need to ride that wave of emotion that they had in getting that first victory since last season, July of last season, and try to make it two. I know that's going to be a big talking point, but we'll have to kind of see how it goes. This is definitely. I mean, it's a Henny Derby. Anything can happen in a Henny Derby. So I'm not super confident about my pick in this one, but I think I got my pick for this. But
Okay.
it's going to be good either way, for sure. I mean, a Henny Derby, big time players need to come in and ball out, and I think they're going to.
Yeah. All right. So in 8 of the last 10 matches between Forward Madison and Richmond, there has been a winner. As we said in the very beginning here, there's been a I mean, in those 14 meetings, Madison had 8, Richmond had 5
Mm-hmm.
wins. So you would have to think that there's going to be a winner. There's not going to be a draw in this one. Then these stats are going to kind of pile on Richmond, so I apologize. But in 6 of Madison's last home matches versus Richmond, 4 of those 6 matches involved a Madison clean sheet.
Oof.
Yeah. Then, if you take into account for Richmond's away matches extending all the way to last season, the Richmond Kickers have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 16 away matches. So, prop bets. Let's just say yes or no. Will there be a clean sheet?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Um, let's go with who scores first.
I can't
That
tell
well,
you.
that
I
gives
can't
away
tell
your
you. I
yeah.
can't tell you who scores first if there's a
That
clean
gives away
sheet.
your prediction. I tried.
All right, I got one for you.
Cool.
Over under Madison corner kicks at 6.
Madison corner kicks at 6. I would take over.
You're going to hear the flamingo call over 6 times.
Over 6 times. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you know what? I'll throw another one in here. Oh, number of bench warnings to forward Madison.
Ooh. What are you going to set the over under at?
0.5.
Oh, good. I'll take the over.
Made it
If
too
you'd have
easy
said
for you.
if you said 1.5, I was gonna be like, you son of a.
See, I thought about 1.5, but then in my mind, I'm like, if you get warned 1.5 times, you're probably getting a card. So
Yeah.
it'd be too easy. Then it would have just been yellow card.
All right. Let me throw this one at you. Um, total goals in this match. I'll set it at 2.5.
Oh, under,
Under.
just under.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get into
All right,
predictions then.
I got one more for you,
Oh,
because
okay.
it's
Yes.
because it's the Henny Derby. How many shots of Henny are being taken at the tailgate? We will set the over under for the entire tailgate of Richmond and Madison fans at 42.
You're just saying for Richmond fans?
Richmond and Madison fans.
Richard. And you're saying 42.
42.
I'm going to take the over.
I love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
I'm taking the over. All right, I'm out of prop bets. You got any more?
No, I am done with the prop bets.
Cool. All right. Predictions. What you got?
Oh, I hate to say it, but I think Richmond is going to go back to struggling in this one. I think Madison is just too talented, being at home as well. I've got Madison winning 2-0.
Okay. I have Madison winning 3-0.
Ooh, 3-0.
I'm going heavy on the goals this week.
You are going heavy on the goals. Yeah, you're at 8 so far in 3 matches.
Oh man. Yeah.
Be all right.
This is going to be crazy weekend then.
It's a big week. Big week.
Yeah.
All
All right, now we
right.
can go to what time are we at right now? Oh, we're already over.
Yeah, I knew that one was going to happen.
All right, let's just do predictions for these next two. We'll do the fan questions and then wrap it up real quick.
All right. Fuego and Chattanooga.
Yeah.
Who do you got in this one, Rich? I'm going to put you on the hot seat for this one.
I am gonna take man. I'm gonna take Fuego in a 1-0 victory.
1-0 Fuego. I'm going to go the opposite way, and I'm going to take Chattanooga 1-0.
Wow, okay. All right, Sunday's match. We have Lexington hosting Spokane. Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, this is a sneaky good pick and definitely could turn tides for both of these people's seasons.
Yeah.
I'm still not bought in on Lexington, man. I'm taking Spokane 2-0. I think they come into Lexington and get the 2-0 win.
You said 2-0?
2-0 to Spokane.
And they haven't even faced each other yet, so there's not anything to go off of. So we're purely going off of form.
Gut feelings only.
There's a part of me that really wants to say Lexington, but man, yeah, I'm gonna go Spokane 1-0. Yeah.
We will make sure that we get Fuego, Chattanooga, Lexington, and Spokane on the next show. We could do a deep dive for your next matches.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. All right, quick question from, oh man, I had to break this one down. Luke Martin, you can find him on Twitter at Luke R. Martin. His question is, who are the top 3 teams and the bottom 3 teams in terms of points on May 1st?
Oh, May 1st?
Yeah, I had to go through here and actually write down each club's schedule. That's why at the beginning of the show I was able to rattle off that the fact that Lexington and Northern Colorado do not have league matches in May.
Oh boy. Um, top three and bottom three in terms of points.
Yeah,
We're talking total points or points earned?
total points.
Total points. Greenville, Knox, Tormenta. I'm going to take the top three now because I feel like, well,
Ooh,
Greenville,
yeah.
Tormenta, Omaha. Give me Greenville, Tormenta, Omaha.
Okay. All right. I'll take that one.
I had to look through those really quickly. I should have looked through that a little bit earlier. But yeah, I like that. I'll take that.
Hmm. I will say my top 3 are going to be Tormenta, Spokane, and Omaha.
It's fair.
Yeah, I'll say
I like
those.
it. Spokane has some, as it sits right now, Spokane has some favorable matchups. I think the only, oh man, the only more favorable matchup in terms of how teams are playing right now, honestly, is Chattanooga.
Yeah. And that's where we get into the bottom 3 because if you look at the teams that are playing toward the bottom of the table, their next opponent is Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say my bottom three are it's just tough. Northern Colorado. This is in no particular order, by the way, but Northern Colorado, Fuego, and Charlotte.
Charlotte, okay.
That makes
I,
sense. Oh, that's not going to make sense with my picks, but whatever. We're going to roll with it.
yeah. I am going to go with bottom 3.
It's a
I'm going to
tough one.
go, yeah, I'm going to go Richmond, Northern Colorado, and Chattanooga.
Yeah, that's actually probably where I should have leaned to. If I go with my picks, that's probably actually what it runs out to. But I like those. I like that pick.
Yeah. And then Chris coming in, you can find her on Twitter at Chris Sur.
So
The last name is spelled in a French manner though,
it is.
so it's not SIR.
The big question is, Rich, are you going to wear Richmond or Madison gear this weekend when you go to see the Henny Derby in person?
I already have my Rob Lowe outfit ready to go, so I'm gonna wear like a USL League One hat
Mm-hmm.
and then like a referee
There you go.
kit top. Yeah. No, so ooh, I had thought about this, and I had thought about wearing something from both clubs, honestly. I honestly did. I
Are
was
you
thinking
gonna
about
buy a
wearing
half and half scarf? If they had a half and half scarf, would you buy it?
sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They have those for European matchups. Why not for League One matchup?
Yeah. Yeah. If
Yeah,
I'll tell you
I'm
what,
game.
if it had a picture of the Henny Trophy on it, you better bet I'm buying two of them, one to hang up and one to actually wear.
Oh, okay. So if I see some, I can do some shopping for you while I'm there.
You got to do it. It's got to have the Henny Trophy on it though.
Oh, I don't know if it's gonna have the Henny Trophy though.
No. Well, come on. I'm an Omaha fan. I can't have Madison stuff unless it's got the best derby in the league on it.
True. Yeah, I was talking to somebody just last night, and they were saying that they would never, excuse me, they would never wear another club's uh, gear. Like they're solely gonna wear
Mm,
their own team's gear. Like I can understand that. And I told them, I plan on buying things from other clubs because I want to support the league, you know. Um, but I can understand that take. Yeah.
sure. CJ asking, do you know how many Omaha fans have Madison merch? Too many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if one Omaha fan has Madison merch, that is too many. So, um, personal opinion, take it for what you will. But, uh, yeah, you other teams that are not your rivals, okay to have, but your rivals, come on, you can't do that. I would not be caught dead wearing any Texas Longhorn
Oh
merchandise or any Colorado Buffalo merchandise. Absolutely not.
no, 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 no. Yeah, any of those Big 12s like Mizzou, K State,
No,
like
phew.
no, I'm not wearing those.
Oh, yeah, no, not a chance.
Yeah.
Shout out to my brother too, who's down in Manhattan this week for a banking conference. But
Is he?
yes, he said there's too much purple down there. Lil Kuzi joining, saying, "Join late. Is there still a lot of hate on Greenville? I heard Brian say they will be top of the league in May. I, I don't. It was in no particular order. All right. There's still a lot of hate in my heart for Greenville. Um, but no, they're in all seriousness. Oh, I love that. In all seriousness, Greenville's a hell of a team right now. They're going to be very
Yeah.
tough to beat.
Yeah. Let me go back to that prediction because I want to see. Yeah, we were on opposite ends on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Going back to Manhattan discussion really quick, just to throw this in there. Have you ever heard the Wabash Cannonball? Have you been to a K State football game?
No.
Okay. So
No.
look up the Wabash Cannonball
All right.
because
No, we cannot
uh,
timestamp that. No, we're not going to do that.
um, I've been to several K State football games because I have friends down there and all that stuff. I did not wear purple. I can guarantee you that. Um, but damn it, if Wabash Cannonball isn't a freaking awesome feature of their game day atmosphere. I'll just say that. It's a cool thing.
We'll have to watch it off stream because
Off
it
stream.
goes through. Yeah, it goes through my headphones when I watch videos too.
Yeah.
I'm sure people who have listened for a while have heard me accidentally open up something on another screen and an ad start to play. But
Yeah. And Lil Kuzi, we will timestamp that as we time. Well, maybe not that specific prediction, but we will timestamp the ranges of each of the discussions for the matches. So just make sure you check your podcasting app tomorrow morning because the library is going to be fully updated then, and
Ooh,
you'll be able to check all the most recent episodes. You'll be able to see all the timestamps. Well, the timestamp will be for this episode here. The previous ones are just going to get dumped in there, but this one's going to have the timestamps.
right. All right. Well, we only went half an hour over. That's not that's not too bad. So if we don't have, we'll give everybody a minute or two. If you have another question that you want to get thrown in, go ahead and throw it in the live chat now, and we will get it answered for you. We'll give you like 4 minutes. I don't want to say 5, so I'm going to say 4. But
Or
it's just like USL League One stoppage time. Could be 4 minutes, could be 35 minutes. Who knows?
that's so true.
Honestly, at this point, the only thing keeping the time from being as long as we want to go is my bladder. I'm not going to lie. Because I don't know if everybody saw at the beginning of it. This was full at the beginning of the podcast.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if that's necessarily healthy to drink that much water that quickly, but
Yeah, it is.
that quickly?
You're hydrated, man.
I drink a lot of water during the day too.
Yeah.
That's probably my second one for today. So I think that's about maxed out. But
Well, you know how people always talk about Tom Brady being a goat? I mean, that's one of the things that he's religious about. Like he drinks a ton of water every single day.
yeah, you're
You're
supposed
bringing a
to.
little bit of that goat to the pod here.
Yeah,
That's
I want to toot my own horn, but just beep beep.
there you guys. Yeah. We're gonna
See,
timestamp that right there.
there you go. CJ saying, "Oh, that's a good one." It quote depends. That was good.
That's good.
I
Yeah.
can't hate on it. That was
All
perfect.
right. Yeah. That's good.
Very good. Oh man. Well, yeah. I don't see anything else in the chat. You got anything else for tonight, Rich?
Mm-mm.
Of course I ask you as you're taking a drink of water.
Yeah. As I try to bring a fraction of that goat atmosphere to you, you ruin it.
I know. I'm sorry.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of League One on the Rocks. My name is Rich. You can find me on Twitter at I'm Rich, but I'm not. That is Brian. You can find him on Twitter at Mediocre Ace. We will see you next week to review all the week 6 action as well as US Open Cup, USL League One news, all that kind of stuff. We're going to keep throwing it at you. So tune in next week for another awesome episode.
Thanks, guys.